Biofeedback is a mind-body technique that involves using visual or auditory feedback to gain control over involuntary bodily functions. This may include gaining voluntary control over such things as heart rate, muscle tension, blood flow, pain perception, and blood pressure.
Simulation theory proposes that all of reality, including Earth and the universe, is in fact an artificial simulation, a computer simulation. Have you ever wondered if you're a simple line of code within a giant, super powerful computer?
So this is the question that I asked. So,
does something unprecedented happen when we finally learn our own source code?
now nobody picked up on this, but that's what my concern is, which is what happens when the universe finally contemplates itself? When we are the first, like we're always worried about the AI becoming self-aware, a la Skynet. Mm-hmm. Okay, we are the AI. And we're about to become self-aware if we can figure out what our own source code is. So we are Skynet.
So you're talking about the source code of reality itself.
Yep.
And that our perception, our limited perceptions of reality are giving us a distorted view of what the landscape actually is.
I'm trying to make sure. I was somewhat holding this back because I'm afraid of what it unlocks. And now that I know that we're willing to elect Donald Trump, not store masks, play footsie with China, be Putin's, all of this stuff, to hell with this. We're going to mismanage this planet into Armageddon if we don't get some grown-ups into the room. And so I don't know that I'm a grown-up, but I'm willing to vie for leadership by putting something up, having it investigated and seeing where it goes.
What is your number one fear about this this source code being,
I don't know,
for lack of a better term, mastered?
Well, the last time we gained some serious insight into the way nuclei worked, that with a little bit of geometry from Stanislaw Ulam and Edward Teller gave us the namesake of the bikini. That was a terrifying moment. Everything changed in I think that was 54?
The namesake of the bikini?
Yeah, Bikini Atoll was an island in the Pacific where we blew up a hydrogen device.
Is that insane, those insane images where you could see the water going a mile high into the sky?
Gorgeous.
Yeah, is that what that is?
Yeah.
But they did that a lot, right?
Well, they did it for a period of time. Yeah. And so to your question, it's still expensive to create fusion devices. So we don't know of any individuals who own the ability to create fusion devices. If you recall, at some point, somebody made a functioning nuclear reactor out of discarded smoke detectors. Went around and got like 500 smoke detectors, took out the radioactive element, and created a reactor.
Really?
I think so.
Probably a kid, right?
Yeah. Probably a kid who couldn't get into Harvard. So we have a situation in which we don't know when ordinary humans will gain limitless destructive power. Try to imagine the Columbine kids weaponizing viruses or something like that. So one of the great dangers is that great power, I can't tell what the power would be if the theory is correct. It might give us the ability to escape. It might give us
when you say escape, though,
yeah.
Why do we have to escape? This is what I'm always so confused about. Like, because even when Elon talks about going to Mars,
yeah,
like Mars sucks.
Mars sucks.
Can't you fix here? Wouldn't that be the best approach?
Well, you and I agree on that.
Yeah.
What we don't agree on, I think, is that I am convinced that we don't have the ability to steward this place.
Why? Don't you think we're better at it
news
now than we were 1,000 years ago?
No.
No? So Genghis Khan was doing a better job?
Genghis Khan was doing a better job because he didn't have limitless power. Just try to imagine it. Try to imagine a full-on nuclear interchange. And then we're having this conversation afterwards.
So you're concerned that nuclear war is not just possible but inevitable.
It's certainly inevitable given a long enough time series, because all these weapons simply will become cheaper.
Advanced civilization will be able to create a
Simulation.
simulation. Yeah, maybe you've answered this before. A simulation.
I've had so many simulation discussions, it's crazy.
Okay. So, because
In fact, it got to the point where basically every conversation was the AI/simulation conversation. And my brother and I finally agreed that we would ban such conversations if we're ever in.
To simplify it down, basically we ourselves are our organic computer. Our software would be our mind and soul, and our body would be our hardware. It would be as if we are in a game. Hence the hologram/simulation theory of the paper from the CIA. So, at the moment we could be experiencing the beginning of us as human beings, being self-aware. If I understand the paper anyways, and the hypothesis is correct.
Being a simulation, I think is the following. That 40 years ago, we had Pong, like 2 rectangles and a dot. That was what games were. Now, 40 years later, we have photorealistic 3D simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously, and it's getting better every year. And soon we'll have virtual reality, augmented reality. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, then the games will become indistinguishable from reality. Just indistinguishable. Even if that rate of advancement drops by 1,000 from what it is right now, then you just say, okay, well, let's imagine it's 10,000 years in the future, which is nothing in the evolutionary scale. So given that we're clearly on a trajectory to have games that are indistinguishable from reality, and those games could be played on any set-top box or on a PC or whatever, and there would probably be, billions of such, computers or set-top boxes, it would seem to follow that the odds that we're in base reality is 1 in billions.
so
Tell me what's wrong with that argument.
is the answer yes?
The argument is probably. I mean, but I just like, is there a flaw in that argument?
I mean, someone.
I'm not sure what the error.
No. The argument makes sense. So the assumption then is that somebody beat us to it, and this is a game.
No. There's a 1 in billions chance that this is base reality.
Oh, okay. What do you think?
Well, I think it's 1 in billions.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, that seems to be like clearly what it suggests.
Right.
And actually, I mean, arguably, we should hope that that's true, because otherwise, if civilization stops advancing, then that may be due to some calamitous event that erases civilization. So maybe we should be hopeful that this is a simulation, because otherwise...
So they could reboot it.
Well, otherwise, either we're going to create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality, or civilization will cease to exist. Those are the 2 options.